There's a moment just after sunset when a city begins to change. The rush of the day softens, voices quiet. Even the light feels different, warmer, gentler, more forgiving. You might notice it first in the way shadows stretch across sidewalks, or how street lamps begin to glow one by one. Cities reveal a second personality at night, one that's calmer, more intimate, and often more honest. It's not just the absence of daylight, it's a shift in rhythm, in energy, in the way we move through space. Tonight, we're going to explore why that happens and what makes nighttime cities feel so uniquely alive. Let's begin with the simplest change, the light itself. When the sun sets, artificial light takes over, and it transforms everything it touches. Street lamps cast pools of warm yellow or cool white. Neon signs hum softly in doorways. Windows glow from within, turning buildings into constellations. This isn't the flat, revealing light of noon. Night light is selective. It highlights certain things and hides others, creating pockets of warmth and mystery. Your eyes adjust. Details you'd never notice during the day, a reflection in a window, the texture of brick under a lamp, the way mist softens a distant corner, suddenly become beautiful. Cities designed for daylight become something else entirely after dark, and that selective visibility changes how we feel as we move through them. It makes the familiar feel new again. During the day, city sounds blend into a constant hum. Traffic, construction, conversation, all layered together. But at night, sounds become distinct. You hear individual footsteps, a distant laugh, the click of a bicycle chain, the low rumble of a late bus. There's more space between sounds, which makes each one feel more intentional, more present. This clarity changes how we experience a place. A quiet street feels peaceful, not empty. A distant voice feels companionable, not intrusive. Even silence feels different at night. It's not the absence of sound, but a softer, more breathable version of it. Cities breathe differently after dark, and when we listen closely, we notice rhythms we'd miss in daylight. There are simply fewer people at night, and that changes the social texture of a city. During the day, we're part of a crowd, anonymous and overlapping. At night, especially in quieter neighborhoods, each person becomes more visible. You might nod to a stranger, notice a couple holding hands, see a lone reader under a cafe window. There's a gentleness to these encounters, an unspoken acknowledgement that you're both choosing to be out in the softer hours. This isn't about loneliness, it's about intimacy with the space itself. With fewer distractions, you notice more: the architecture, the weather, the way your own thoughts settle. Cities at night invite a different kind of attention, slower, more reflective, more personal. At night, you see a city's structure more clearly. Without the visual noise of crowds and commerce, the architecture stands out. The curve of a bridge, the repetition of windows, the way old buildings lean slightly into narrow streets. You notice scale differently. A building that felt ordinary in daylight might loom beautifully under moonlight. A park that seemed open and bright becomes a quiet enclosure of shadow and rustling leaves. Urban planners and architects often design for daylight, but nighttime reveals the unintentional beauty. The way a staircase catches light, the rhythm of alleyways, the negative space between structures. Walking through a city at night can feel like seeing its skeleton, its essential form, without decoration or distraction. It's honest in a way daylight rarely allows. The air feels different at night. Cooler, often gentler, sometimes carrying scents you wouldn't notice during the day. Rain on asphalt, flowers from a hidden garden, bread from a late bakery. Weather becomes more intimate. A light rain during the day is an inconvenience. At night, it's atmospheric, even comforting. Mist softens edges. A gentle wind feels like the city breathing. Because there's less heat radiating from pavement and fewer people moving around, the temperature drops slightly. Not dramatically, but enough to make you more aware of your body in the space. You pull a jacket closer. You notice your own breath in winter. These small physical sensations ground you in the present moment. The city stops being a backdrop and becomes something you're inside of, something tangible and alive. The people you encounter at night are often there for different reasons, not commuting or running errands, but walking for pleasure, working late shifts, or simply unable to sleep. There's a shared understanding in nighttime cities. Everyone here has chosen, or been chosen by, these hours. Late-night cafes hum quietly with students and insomniacs. Food vendors serve shift workers and wanderers. Parks host joggers seeking solitude. These rhythms run parallel to daytime life, but feel separate, almost secret. If you're visiting a city, experiencing it at night offers a glimpse into this second community. Walk slowly. Respect the quiet. If a shop or cafe is open, a small purchase or a kind word is always appreciated. You're entering a different ecosystem, one built on patience and persistence rather than rush. A gentle note. Nighttime cities do ask for a bit more awareness. Stick to well-lit areas, especially if you're unfamiliar with a neighborhood. Trust your instincts. If a street feels off, it's okay to turn back. Keep your phone charged. Let someone know your plans if you're exploring alone. Most cities are perfectly safe at night, particularly in central or residential areas, but common sense matters. Walk with confidence. Avoid displaying valuables unnecessarily. If you're unsure, ask locals or hotel staff which areas are best for evening walks. This isn't about fear. It's about respect for the space and for yourself. When you feel safe, you're free to notice the beauty around you. And that's when nighttime cities truly open up. Perhaps the deepest reason cities feel different at night is this. They invite us to slow down. Without the pressure of daylight productivity, without the urgency of errands and schedules, we move at our own pace. We stop to look at things. We let our thoughts wander. We notice details, a carved doorway, a cat in a window, the way leaves move in lamplight, that would vanish in the rush of day. Night cities reward attention. They ask nothing of us except presence. And in return, they offer a quieter, gentler version of themselves, one that feels less like a machine and more like a companion. This is why a midnight walk can feel restorative in a way a midday errand never does. It's not escape, it's return to stillness, to curiosity, to the simple pleasure of being somewhere beautiful when the world is soft. Cities don't sleep, they shift. They lower their voices, soften their edges, and become spaces for reflection rather than action. If you've never walked a city at night, consider it. Choose a safe, familiar area. Leave your phone in your pocket. Just walk and notice. Notice the light, the sounds, the air. Notice how you feel in the quieter hours. You might find that the city you thought you knew has been waiting all along to show you this second face, the one it wears when the world slows down. Thank you for walking with me tonight. If this felt calming, you might enjoy our Calm Travel Guides playlist, gentle journeys through beautiful places, told at a pace that lets you breathe. Until next time, take care.